Today is Monday, March the 9th, 2020. I am Julie Hankinson, and this is the view out my window. Well, big excitement around here. I spotted the first container ship in weeks that was just sailing by on its way to Yokohama. And so to me, this signals a return to normalcy, to being normal around here. I know just looking at it that it wasn't stacked as high or as tightly. The containers were not stacked as tight together, but even the fact that it's the first one I've seen, and even though it was not carrying as many containers as I normally see on these type of ships, it was still exciting. And I did post a very small 15-second video on for anybody that wants to share in my excitement. But again, to me, it just is saying people are beginning to go back to work, and hopefully the disruption that we have seen in the supply from China, this disruption is now on its way back. I know everything is not 100% over there, but at least this is the first real sign that I have seen that things are returning to normal. So yes, I was very excited because, truth be told, I placed an order through my mail order prescription service over 1 month ago, and they still have not shipped out my prescription. And this worries me that this was a month ago whenever I was just beginning to tell everybody to get their refills, refilled, and to get these things stocked up. And I did contact my mail order prescription, and they still have not shipped it out. So I have heard, as I mentioned yesterday, that some doctors are already experiencing shortfalls in antibiotics and stuff, medicines. So hopefully this will be a sign that things, will be returning to normal, at least for shipping goods from China. I know things are not normal. It's like we are just beginning to see the effects of the COVID-19, the novel coronavirus in the United States. And when I was going to school and I was taking toxicology, my professor used to say, you only find what you're testing for. And I'm afraid that that is what has been going on in the United States. We haven't been testing for the virus, so we haven't found it. Now that we are getting more tests out, and there will be more tests analyzed, now we are looking for the COVID-19 virus, and now we will find it because we are looking for it, we are testing for it, and it is going to impact our lives in ways that we have never experienced in our country before. And I would say that a lot of people are not prepared for the magnitude of this experience. I think that the runs on the grocery stores and the hoarding that we are currently seeing is just a beginning. And as our neighbors and our friends and even our family members are exposed, and some of them do come down with the virus, I think that this will be a very traumatic experience. And I don't think our medical community, our psychiatric community, I just don't believe that we're mentally and physically ready for this in our country. And I say that including England and Australia and Canada. I know Iran, Italy, just they're experiencing massive magnitude of trauma, and their medical situation is not as I'm going to just say first class, first world, as extensive as what we have come to expect in our first world countries. And even our first world medical care is going to be overwhelmed, and our frontline people are going to be the ones that are exposed and will need psychiatric help because of what they will be exposed to in the next few months. And I don't mean that they're mentally weak. I mean that the death and the suffering will actually cause, like post-traumatic stress syndrome in the medical workers. And this is something that they will need counseling and therapy for. And our medical community is not prepared to handle that. So these are my thoughts. Here I am 1 minute rejoicing, and the next looking on down the line at what we can expect in the next few weeks and months. The economic impact is going to be incalculable. We just can't calculate it at this point, because it's going to impact conferences, it's going to impact cruise lines and airlines, the tourist industry, restaurants, and this all trickles down to suppliers. And the interesting thing will be to see if Amazon, if people, when they're sheltering in place, are doing more shopping on their computers and having stuff delivered to their homes, or if they will, because of the economic impact, if they will actually stop shopping as much. So that will be something to watch in the upcoming months. I know that the Zoom stock had some interesting times lately, because everybody's talking about, teleworking, working from home, especially whenever you're getting all the Wall Street and the financials, well, there's no telling. You call up your banker and you'll have a baby crying in the background because, their kids aren't going to school and they're not going to work and they're answering their phone from home. This is just going to be the new norm for a while. So I hope I've given you some things to think about today. And I think I'd like to end it with, how can you take care of yourself? How can you up-level your life when we're being battered from all sides? I mean, can you make a cup of cocoa and just relax? Can you de-stress by untethering yourself from the media for 5 minutes? Can you sit down and play a board game with your children, or do some knitting, or make some crafts? Take advantage of this time that you don't have to spend on a commute, if you're that lucky to be able to work from home. So, just some thoughts. Please, I know some of you will be eating and preparing food out of your pantries, but please make sure to eat normal, healthy food. Don't freak out your digestive system by bombarding it with too much junk food or too much canned food that it's not used to. And I say that because I made corned beef hash, and I love corned beef hash, but it was a bit salty, and I'm not used to eating that much salt. I was when I was living in the U.S., but I'm in Japan right now, so I've been eating a lot of fish, which is a lot milder. And my stomach is not happy today because I have not eaten corned beef hash in 5 years, and it's going, what the heck, lady, So please take care of your digestive system and think about what you're making. All right, y'all, take care and good night.